We're expecting an announcement today from the Ivy League that they'll be pushing their football season back to spring. The thought, though, is this does not affect the Power Five. Much different financial considerations, and it's a different situation than what happened in March with the basketball season and the shutdown of that. Do you expect the Power Five leagues to be making decisions in concert and announcements in unison? Because they are, they're called the Autonomy Five for a reason. They are the big leagues of college football. So with what we're dealing right now, it feels like they have to make their decisions almost in unison.
Well, yes, but only to a certain extent. If the South feels comfortable with playing, you're not going to cancel because Northwestern isn't going to play. Chicago says you can't play. So to a certain extent, you'll be in communication. But I'm not shutting down operations based on some other league and some other geography. Mm-hmm. If I feel comfortable that we can make a go of it. So, no, I'm going to try and play, and I think the SEC will do that and do what's best for the SEC. Now, what that means for other leagues, et cetera, I don't know. But I would never make a blood agreement with the Pac-12 or the Big 12 that, hey, we're all going down together or playing together. The hell with that.
But I guess in some situations you're going to have to get a little bit creative with quick scheduling, because there already are some teams that aren't even allowed to travel for their guarantee games. So you're going to end up seeing matchups that are more regional based and that you did not expect to see. And I would imagine that sometime in the next few weeks we'll hear those announcements and sort of like shotgun scheduling just out of the blue.
Yeah, I think you put it well there. I think the next 2 weeks we may not get to the end game on the plan, but we're going to have a really good feel for things. In the moment, the feel is maybe they start a little bit later, maybe cut out non-conference games. Now, I don't know that that's going to happen. That seems to have some momentum. These things can change literally daily. Nothing's concrete. But and let me repeat something, guys. The idea of spring football is the only thing worse than that is catastrophe. So spring football, guys, is only an option if we got no other choice and we don't want to get to fiscal June with no money, and we're wiping out our athletic department. That's the only reason you would try the silly spring football idea.
Well, and the logistics that you would have to jump through in order to do that, especially in a league like the SEC where baseball's a big deal, springtime. You don't have enough people on campus to staff all the games that you would have to schedule. If you've got baseball, basketball, football at the same time, there's a reason each of these sports has their own time of the year, their own their own season. It's just I couldn't imagine what it would be like with all three in the spring. It just
let me give you an example. Let me just pick a city: Baton Rouge, LSU. You imagine spring? You got a football game on a Saturday, a basketball game, and a baseball, triple header or whatever you're doing. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. I don't know how the heck you pull that off.
Speaking to Bill King here on Halftime, Bill, want to switch over just for a second. It was something we're going to talk about later in the show, but get your thoughts on this. 10 years ago today, LeBron James announced he was going to Miami. One of the most memorable press conferences, I guess, of my time, and I'm sure you've seen a lot. I was just curious from your standpoint, is there any memorable press conference or something like that comes to mind?
Absolutely. Bob Petrino after the wreck. That was way better than what you're talking about. That's the best press conference ever. Guy sitting there with a big neck brace on. He's been caught with Blondie on the motorcycle. Nah, you know what? I'm not a big NBA guy. I was in the 80s, but I'm not much anymore. As a kid growing up, I'd watch it. But no, that has to be right at the top of announcements. Where is he going to go? Is he going to form this incredible trio down there, which happened? So, yeah, no, I think you're right.
But I think you might be interested to know this, Bill, because you just mentioned the neck brace and everything. One of the weirdest pieces of memorabilia, and I know the guy that has this thing, it is a Bobby Petrino signed neck brace, and it is that actual neck brace. I can't imagine
So
another piece of yes, actually has it and got it signed by Petrino. It's the weirdest piece of sports memorabilia outside of somebody else's chewed gum.
So wait a minute. You go to this guy's house, you're going to drink some beer at his bar, or in his house, his man cave, and up with the trophies and the pictures of sports celebrities is the neck brace.
That's right.
Right?
Yes, that's right. Oh,
Wow.
my goodness. I can't say who it is, but it's someone who just loves that kind of memorabilia. And again, what would be a more famous piece of sports memorabilia? Maybe O.J. Simpson's glove would be the next one for me.
You know what? Now, I'll say this. I'd like to have that wrecked chopper that went in the ditch. I'd put that on display in my house for everybody.
Yeah, that'd be a good one, too.
Bill, let me ask you this, because a couple of weeks ago, when the announcement came out with Texas A&M and the sanctions that were put against them for the illegal recruiting violation, and it got me thinking, too, when you look, I want to focus on Texas A&M specifically for this question. With the amount of money that they're paying Jimbo Fisher, and then you add it, which I think it's been overblown a little bit as far as recruiting violation, if he doesn't get it turned around this season, and by turned around I say 9-10 wins, is Jimbo Fisher's seat getting hot for the amount of money that they're paying him and not really necessarily getting the results to justify it?
No, I don't think in this environment it would be. Now, again, A&M's got tons of that sugar daddy oil money, and even in this environment they do, but I just don't think there's mood out there to be writing. What would they owe him? He's 3 years in, it's 7 a year, 21 minus. They'd owe him $50 million. There's just no mood for that right now. Now, would the message boards and the call-ins and Twitter and they'd be getting on him. But the people who actually make decisions, I don't think right now the environment we're in is the environment where we're going to make quick decisions and run people out of town once we basically broke the bank to get him in the first place. So you'd have to write a check for 50 and then bring the new guy in for, 8 a year, 7 a year, whatever it is, 6, and then another 3 for the staff. I just don't see this environment conducive.
Do you think that extends to other schools too? I mean, the financial considerations at A&M are certainly, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, guys, I think we talked about it. We call it the coronavirus mulligan. I think that's going to be a thing this year. I don't think schools are going to be in the mood to be going to whoever it is saying, okay, I need 15 for this guy to get out of here and not coach. And then I need another bunch of millions for the new people. And we don't even know how many people we can put in the stands. I just can't see that.
Yeah.